agenda. I just have a minor thing on it.
Okay. We'll put that under Edmund.
Thank you.
Any other amendments? All in favor of the amendments? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, now to the fun stuff. We do have a certificate of recognition for the Yorkville High School State Champion Girls Cross Country Team. So girls, why don't you come on up? Not only state champions, but repeat state champions. Where's your coach? Is your coach here tonight? No. Hi, girls. Congratulations. This is going to be a yearly thing now, huh? Great accomplishment. Anyone want to tell us about the meet or how it happened? Come on.
Who's the fastest girl on the team?
Who's the fastest? Skylar. Yeah, Skylar's only freshman, right? We got 3 more years. You have to make it wonderful. So, okay, girls, I have a certificate for all of you, but I'm just going to read the one for the team as a whole. This is, like I said, certificate of recognition. The Mayor and City Council of the United City of Yorkville present this certificate to the Yorkville High School Girls Cross Country Team for placing first in the Class 2A State Championship. In recognition of all your hard work and for your dedication and commitment to the sport of cross country, also in recognition of your athleticism, team spirit, and outstanding sportsmanship. Congratulations and great job. Presented this 27th day of November 2012. Congratulations. And I know you girls work hard because I can see some of you guys working out of the rec center.
Whoa.
That's me.
There you go, dear. Congratulations. Skylar and Miss Skylar, there you go. Lindsay, there you go. Rebecca. Casey. Kelsey. Summer. Aaron. This must be Julia. There you go. Caitlin. There you go. Bree. Now I'm on that one for you. Oh, okay. Okay, go. One more round. Thank you. Looking forward to next year. Next, we have a certificate of recognition for the Yorkville Community Church United Methodist Farmers Market Group. Will you folks come up, please? And 7 more, you guys can step there. You guys want to step up too? Now these ladies and that gentleman are very much a part of our farmers market, I believe. Pretty much started it for the last 10 years. The farmers market, correct?
Yes.
Oh, I'm away. No. I'm short.
Really?
No matter what, they're always there. I remember a couple years ago we had a horrible rainstorm, and I drove by and they were out there. So they're very dedicated. They definitely help the farmers market. They help a lot of our programs too, like Easter egg cookies, Christmas cookies. So they helped us over a couple of days. How much have you raised for the church over the years?
Over $100,000.
Oh.
Wow.
On recognition, I would like to give you this certificate. Certificate of appreciation. The Mayor and City Council of the United City of Yorkville present this certificate to the Yorkville Trinity Church United Methodist Farmers Group, Farmers Market Group, in appreciation for their time and effort in running the Yorkville Farmers Market for over 10 years. Your ongoing support and contributions to the Yorkville community have made this a great place to raise a family. Presented this 27th day of November, 2012. Okay, moving on. We have no public hearings. Do you have any citizen comments on items that are on the agenda today? Hearing none, we will go on to the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended. So moved. Second. Roll call, please.
Lozano?
Aye.
Wachowski? Aye. Spears? Aye. Lentz?
Aye.
Lefkowser?
Aye.
Hook?
Aye.
Teely? Aye. Knott?
Aye. Next is minutes for approval. I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the special city council meeting of October 27th, 2012 as presented. So moved.
Second.
Comments or questions on minutes? All in favor? Aye. All right, moving on to mayor's report. We do have city insurance renewal. So I'll entertain a motion to authorize entering into a one-year insurance agreement with Gladfelter Insurance in the amount not to exceed $310,000, 363.
So
Second.
We have someone here from Mesera. This is the same company that we had last year, so pretty much I'm doing the same contract. Everyone had access to this information wasn't packet when I found copy. So if you'd like to maybe give us a flip note version, and we can open it up to some questions.
I'm Trish Carey. I work for Mesmer Insurance Services, who is actually the city's insurance broker. My Felicia is the person I actually have to use the person on your account. Unfortunately, we cannot make it today because of another emergency with another client. So sincerely apologize. This was called about 4 times on my way here. And please tell them I apologize for my logo. Okay, so I want to give you just a down version of this. It's so large, I know you don't want to go through this whole thing tonight. So let's turn to page, I think it's 3.1, which is the executive summary.
just so you know, we did have it in our package.
You did?
Yeah, here we go.
So let's just go to the executive summary. Which basically, since you have in your packet, you already know what the insurance coverages they are. So we'll just kind of give you a highlight of their insurance coverages and also just let you know basically what we did during the insurance process. Every year, what we do for all of our municipal clients, or basically all of the clients on our team, we do approach the marketplace. And we've approached 13 markets this year for the city of Yorkville. And actually what basically happened is that your company came back with the best pricing. So if you want additional detail as far as how the different carriers responded, it's on page 2.4 of the proposal. It's detailed, it gives you the indication that they may have given us, they told us why, if they declined or if they quoted. So if you want additional details with regards to that, it is on page 2.4 of the proposal. Your property and casualty, it did renew with well, we did present Glatfelter, which is the incumbent. Basically, your property and casualty, the limits remain the same, except the property increased from last year to, I believe it was increased from 40 million to 43 million. And a lot of that is because there was an increase in the business personal property of the library. It went from 600K to approximately $2.3 million. Now with that said, also what increased was your units or exposures for your auto. It went from 71 units to 76 units. So if you look onto the limits are the same, the deductibles are the same, that was proposed last year. But if you look on the premium summary page, you'll notice that Glatfelter actually gave you a reduction in premium. And that is on page 3.1. You went from last year with Glatfelter at $157,000, this year at $135,000. Now, there was an increase on the overall program for the workers' compensation. And there's a couple of drivers with regard to that. The first thing is that there's only like 3 actual insurance companies in the state of Illinois that do guarantee costs, which basically means there's zero deductible on the workers' compensation. So there's a couple things that kind of drove up the workers' comp from going from, I think it was like $113,000 last year to $155,000. One of it is because there was an increase in the overall payroll exposure. That's one of the reasons. Another reason is because just the rate change in Illinois changed. It increased last year, this year. There was also the market conditions. They're hardening up now. We're noticing that a lot of carriers are doing like 10% increase on all lines of coverage. There was also a classification change when you guys were audited. The insurance company gave back and told us that the pay code of 9402 was switched to 5506, which is it doubled the rate. So basically, it added a tack on like $15,000 more to the insurance. Now, I'm not sure why it was originally not classified correctly, but I mean, for the 2 years that it was, it almost like it was a blessing to the city. I'm just being honest. There was also payroll increase in the police department, so that was another driving force of the workers' compensation. We went to 3 markets, like I said, the incumbent, which is IKRF. We also went to ICRT, which is also another guarantee cost workers' compensation carrier, and they came in at $221,000, which as you can see is significantly higher. And then also technology insurance, which is $296,000. So your overall program basically increased, I believe, by 7%, which is actually lower than what we're noticing as the market norm for what we're experiencing with our municipal clients. It's generally now between 10 and 15% increase.
And I would note, too, the motion is for Glatfelter Insurance, which on page 3.1 is bracketed, that's the recommendation. So the property casualty insurance is actually with Glatfelter. With the workers' compensation insurance is actually with the Illinois Public Risk Fund. So that's IPRF. So just noted, for the motion, I don't think it needs to be amended. Kathy can tell us otherwise, but so that will be with the different company. But it's all part of one package.
Okay, do we have any questions?
I just have a major concern here. On page 4.11, we have all the city employees that are drivers and their license number is listed.
Going forward, it should not be in there going forward. What we generally do is that we give it to the municipality so they can check to make sure that all the drivers are on there. Some unis want that information on there, many do not because of the law, and we understand that. So if there's anything, we can definitely take it out.
That was there, so we missed it when we were scanning it out, so it should not be in there.
And my concern was identity theft.
Correct.
So we've got their names and their license number, and it's easy to find their addresses, whatever. I mean, our police chief can speak on that.
Can we take that off the website?
It was.
Okay.
It was this morning.
Okay.
And we'll take it out of our proposal going forward. They will not be in there. We'll just actually just put the driver's name and then that's it.
Okay.
Going forward.
Thank you. Don't put their social security in the
We will not, we
plate.
definitely won't do that.
Okay.
Okay, yes, sir.
Well, Well, I just had one of the things that said to check the vehicle inventory as well as all the drivers. I noticed that some of the names are individuals that are no longer with the city. And I know we've hired individuals, and I'm not sure when the cutoff was for this list. I just want to make sure that, especially with our PD, especially the young guys we just hired that are in the academy, I want to make sure they're listed so we're covered. And the names that don't need to be on there need to be removed. Also for the vehicle inventory, we got the new squads, we got the Harley Davidsons, that stuff. I just want to make sure it's been updated, not just cut and pasted from last year.
Yeah, we do that each either purchase or disposal. The accounting department will actually send it out to the insurance company. So the snapshot might have been taken September. It could have been beforehand. When they did the actual proposal. So.
I have one more thing. I didn't know. Oh, actually, I did know. I noticed that our coverage for the police department, the contents of the police department are only covered for $360,000. Am I reading this right? It's on page 4.1 at the top, first line 1.1, City Hall Police Department. It describes the building and the contents are listed as $360,500. This building were to burn down, I have a funny feeling it'd be a lot more than $360,000.
That would just be for the furniture and the components within. So the replacement cost is there for 3.9 million.
No, I understand the building. I'm talking about contents still. Don't we have more than $300,000 worth of stuff in this building? Computers, servers?
We would have went through and did this as part of the proposal process. So either that number was generated this year or last year.
And if we, like I said, if you want to change the number, you guys go back over your inventory. You can always come back to us and tell us to amend the number. That will not be an issue with the insurance company.
I just want to make sure we're covered.
Anyone else? Okay, roll call, please.
Keeling? Aye. Cook?
Aye.
Hutt?
Aye.
Munns?
Aye.
Spears? Aye. Colosimo?
Aye.
Funkhauser?
Aye.
Wilczewski?
Aye.
Okay, next is the tax levy ordinance. I'll entertain a motion to approve the ordinance for levy and assessment of taxes for the fiscal year beginning May 1st, 2013, and ending April 30th, 2014, of the United City of Yorkville, authorized the mayor and city clerk to execute.
Second.
Comments or questions on the tax levy? Hearing none?
Yeah, just point out a few things. I mean, obviously, I wish we could cut more, but I just want the public to realize that some of the stuff that is in the packet, that you can look at it on the tax levy ordinance, are requirements that we have to pay off, especially when we go back to the police pension. Obviously, our officers earn this pension. It's been neglected for years, and now we're catching up on it. So we're almost paying double at this point for what, unfortunately, we should have been doing. But it is a small reduction from last year overall. Hopefully, once we get the police pension caught up, we can start looking at more deductions. So I will be voting for it.
Anyone else? Roll call, please.
Funkhauser?
Aye.
Wilczewski?
Aye.
Teeling?
Aye.
Cook?
Aye.
Hutt?
Aye.
Munns?
Aye.
Spears?
Aye.
Colosimo?
Aye.
The next item, the owner or the bidder has to table this item until December 11th. I'll entertain a motion to table this item to December 11th, city council meeting.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Can we discuss the motion to
You
table?
should have did it before.
Oh, we can.
You didn't have to take a motion to table. I mean, it really don't matter.
We can't discuss the motion to table.
No,
Yeah.
but you can withdraw it 2 weeks.
I just wanted to, it's your motion, man, to withdraw.
No, I just entertained the motion. Who made it?
Okay, made it.
I withdraw my second.
Okay. Whatever, you have a question?
Robert. No, the other thing I had was, I had a couple little tweaks, and I know this is going to go back and come back. I just thought for efficiency purposes, maybe we can discuss any tweaks we might be proposing. That way when it goes back, it doesn't come back, and then we propose a tweak, and then it goes back, and then it comes back. I just figured it'd be a shortcut. So.
Yeah.
Hey,
I think it's fine.
does anybody want to know the reasons on the table, or?
Sure.
Yes.
The property owner is going to ask for actually to make half of the existing parking lot a pedestrian mall and a walkway. And they've got an aerial and a drawing that they're going to propose. With the idea being is that they would be able to substitute whatever lost parking on this lot elsewhere between their various other lots in the downtown. So they wanted to make sure that, you know, the agreement as written didn't keep them at 12 parking stalls or whatever it ends up being for eternity. You know, they prefer to have it as a pedestrian mall down there. And then there were a couple other minor tweaks to the ordinance related to, I didn't think some technical things, but that was the big one. They wanted to make sure that that was clear, and really they wanted everybody to be on board with that before they sold it.
I mean, they did originally want a sidewalk going from Van Island to all the storefronts. On the parking there was no way to safely accommodate the sidewalk. So,
Just a follow-up on that, what effect would that have on our utility?
Nothing really. I mean, we told the petitioner that if they were going to turn half of it into a pedestrian mall, that you know, we basically didn't want landscaping on the north half of the lot adjacent to the well house. Reason being, if we had to park like a 30-foot truck or whatever near it to access the well station, we didn't want it to be sinking into the ground. So, you know, we're going to, and then we'd have to repair it, obviously, too. So, you know, we are requesting that it be maintained as a hard surface, but, you know, potters and pavers and all those things that make it look nice are fine with us. At least that's what we're proposing.
But we are in the deed, making the deed subject to a perpetual easement so that the city can always get it.
Blanket easement, so
Yes.
the entire lot.
That would be a question
Just to, if I may, just a quick follow-up on that too, is under provision on page 7, 14C, it says this agreement may not be assigned by purchaser. So if we go through with this, and 5 years from now, they decide they want to sell it, where does that leave us with this agreement? Do we have to enter a new agreement with the new purchaser?
No. If we sell the property with deed restrictions, which is our intent for ingress, egress, and wherever, that will run the land forever. The law is that once, whatever provision you have in a real estate contract, once the matter closes, the contract merges with the title, and there's no provision in this agreement that will live on unless it's a part of the recorded deed. So our intent is to do approvals with the recorded deed in terms of easement rights and in terms of approvals, so that the city will be protected forever. You're frowning, Barbara.
No.
Okay.
So you're saying the plan that they're going to bring back will reduce the amount of parking that's there, that they're going to hopefully propose an alternative?
Carl, do you have a question?
I did. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A few things. As far as the restrictions that we're going to put into the deed that's going to roll with the property, the pedestrian walkway now, this is the first I heard, it kind of concerns me a bit as far as if we have to rip it up, what the city costs are going to be to put that back. If it's just a parking lot, it's one thing. If it's a pedestrian walkway that's improved with trees, and I don't know, but that's an argument for a different day. Two, their proposal, when they did their bid and we opened it, said that they would invest a minimum of $15,000 to $25,000 in improvement of the property. However, when you look at the agreement and the restrictions that's out of the contract, they need to invest a minimum of $15,000 in the improvements. And then thirdly, you know, I don't know what Yorkville is going to look like 10, 20, 30 years from now. The provision about still be made public parking, I would like for that state to be free public parking. I don't want there to be meters or anything of that nature installed in the future. I would like this to stay free perpetually, so.
Will we sell it off for contracts down the road?
Yeah, $1 billion meter contract in Yorkville would be okay, but short of that, I would not like to see that.
I think the issue with regard to prospective improvements would probably be after we review all of the changes as part of the development agreement.
And obviously, if they're going to do
And-
a walkway, like,
Right,
they're
and
going
hook
to
up to
15,000 or
incentives,
money.
et cetera.
That
But
is not.
the items that we have to retain, which is a perfect example, free public parking, easement rights, and the right to access will be deed restricted.
That's all. Thank you.
On page 1 of the agreement, the sixth paragraph down, it says, whereas the city received bid proposals, should that just be singular? Because we only received one, correct?
I should say, the better way to put it is the city solicited for bid proposals and only received. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then I have one more. Sorry. Again, it's the sale agreement, and it's on page 1, and it refers to Bart Olson as the village administrator. Yeah, oh, yeah. There are two in that sentence.
Anything else? Okay, now I will entertain a motion to table this item until December 11th.
I'll move.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Teeling.
Aye.
Cook.
Aye.
Hot.
Aye.
Buttons.
Aye.
Spears.
Aye.
Colosimo.
Aye.
Lukauser.
Abstain.
Wilczewski.
Aye.
Okay, next is a settlement agreement. I should ask first, I don't know why I'm in executive session before we go on to this. We talked about it in executive session before. Anyone want to discuss it again, or otherwise we can just do a motion and talk about it openly.
That's fine.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the settlement agreement with Fox Marine LLC, no limited liability company doing business in Kendall County, Inc., and Don Healing Farms LLC, a limited liability company doing business in Kendall County, as Healing Farms, possibly the parties. Not by the mayor, so you click to execute.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
You want to give a little rundown on it?
After we know our litigation firm, the Tom Gardner and Weisberg, handled this matter, and after serious litigation, the original suit being for $150,000, the settlement is $115,000, payable within 14 days of execution by the parties.
Comments or questions?
So I say after all these years, it's really nice to close this one off the books and recoup some of the money.
Yes, I think all matters relating now are deemed closed if the city council approves this agreement.
Are the trees included?
No, sorry.
Roll call.
Lukauser.
Aye.
Wilczewski.
Aye.
Teeling.
Aye.
Cook.
Aye.
Hot.
Aye.
Buttons.
Aye.
Spears.
Aye.
Colosimo.
Aye.
Next, we have a couple of motions for Kendall County stormwater ordinance. That's public works. And did you want to?
Yeah. Kendall County Stormwater Ordinance. A motion to approve an ordinance adopting the Kendall County Stormwater Management Ordinance to regulate stormwater management in the United City of Yorkville and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute. A motion to approve a resolution seeking certification for the implementation of the United City of Yorkville's adoption of the Kendall County Stormwater Management Ordinance and authorize the mayor and the city clerk to execute.
Good, second?
Second.
Comments or questions? Go ahead.
Yeah, we discussed this at Public Works, and I just kind of have a follow-up question. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm correct Mr. Bart, is this pretty much level the playing field if everybody in the county participates in this as far as the different regulations?
Yeah, it sets a floor, certainly. The municipalities, I think what you'll find for a lot of the standards are going to be a lot more strict, and between the municipalities are going to vary. So we'll at least bring unincorporated county and incorporated municipalities to minimum standards.
Anyone else? Roll call.
Scope,
Aye.
Are we voting on both motions together?
Yeah, it was put in there as two motions, it's okay to vote on.
Yeah.
You made both motions together. Yes, both motions together.
so Cook,
Aye.
Cott,
Aye.
Munns,
Aye.
Spears,
Aye.
Colosimo,
Aye.
Funkhauser,
Aye.
Wilczewski, Teeling.
Aye.
We have no economic development committee report, no public safety committee report. Admin, we do have an item number 4, pull up consent agenda, the investment policy. Take that one. Who's on, Edmund Martin, right? Rose.
Okay, we don't have a motion
We don't have
here,
a
so I'll
motion.
just
This one, yeah.
make, okay. I'd like to make a motion for the proposed investment policy revisions to the current policy that we have.
Second.
Comments or questions? Ms. Wilczewski?
The only reason I pulled it off from you, the last page of it, page 2, and can we please correct the vote tally so Alderman Bill's amendment? I think Alderman Copeland might be on that.
Yes.
That was it.
Any other comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Cott,
Aye.
Munns,
Aye.
Spears,
Aye.
Colosimo,
Aye.
Funkhauser,
Aye.
Wilczewski,
Aye.
Teeling,
Aye.
Cook.
Aye.
Okay, in the park board, we do have one item. I'll entertain a motion to authorize staff to negotiate and sign a contract with the National Entertainment Act for the 2013 Hometown Days Festival in an amount not to exceed $25,000.
So moved.
You have a second? Okay, now you see the information in your package, staff is looking for a bigger act to expand on Hometown Days. Jim, you want to chime in on it?
I mean, we've obviously in there the last 7 years, and we ran this festival at a profit the entire time. And, each year we're always looking to expand it, make it bigger, make something better for the community, make something better to offer the vendors. A lot of vendors came to us and said, hey, is there any way of looking to get a national act? Would it be feasible to make that happen? We think it would draw a lot more people out. As we stated in the proposal there, that we would have to increase just the fees on that one day, the entrance fee for coming in to see that band. That we think not only can we make it a success with the number of people coming in, but also a success financially, increased profits from the festival. So that's just thrown out to you guys to see if that's a direction you'd like to go in or not.
Comments, questions? You gonna get that, Nugent, for $25,000?
You can't get 10 units for 25. If you want to go up to 50, you might be able to.
Just want to, just a couple concerns actually. A larger act, obviously we're going to draw much larger crowds. Number one, do we have the facility there to really accommodate this? And then number two, is this something that we talk with the police department about to make sure we've got proper staffing, crowd control, that type of thing? Because depending on who you book, you can be bringing in people from different areas. It's not going to be your typical crowd that you get. And then the last concern I have is I know on Friday nights, a lot of times, there's a football game going on. And if you're bringing in a bigger act, I mean, that's going to be a real nightmare as far as parking. So if the game's not going on, I guess it doesn't matter which night you do it. But if there is one, I strongly urge you to do it on Saturday night.
Sure. I mean, Saturday would really be the only night you would want it. That's going to draw your largest crowd. And if you look at the layout, we changed the layout 3-4 years ago at the festival, and there's plenty of room to go out east of Beecher that we haven't really expanded. There's open space out there all the way up until there's that dentist office that we don't even use a lot, that if we need to expand. And we figure we get about 4,500 on a Sunday night. If you come out there with high fidelity, you're probably looking at maybe going up between 6,000 and 7,000 for something like this. So there's room there easily to accommodate it.
And there is no football game, correct?
Well, we would be going for Saturday, it wouldn't matter. But no, there's not one. We just had one this year, so we're off next year. It would be the following year. But we'll be looking on a Saturday because.
And one last follow, how does it work as far as, and we've had rain on several nights that really have messed things up. You know, you're putting out big money for a band and all of a sudden you got, a rainstorm. What's our protection for that?
We would definitely get insurance for that day, and you're probably looking at, $5,000-$6,000 for just to cover that one day. We've looked at it in the past, and it's between $8,000 and $10,000 to cover the whole weekend, and we never thought that was financially feasible to do. But we would look at definitely for that one night. And we've had a night already rained out in years past, and just to get a large Chicagoland band, it cost us $5,000. So, and we've been able to still make the festival profitable. So if we have to spend an extra $4,000 or $5,000 in insurance just to cover the $25,000 for the band, we can definitely offset that through the rest of the weekend.
We've been right up the last 2 years.
Yeah, and we've always had to pay the band out, so I mean that cost we can definitely cover easily to obviously get the insurance for this kind of a band.
Yes, sir.
So we have enough parking. I'm assuming you're going to use the school parking lots, and does that back grass lot would be the one you'd use to can it hold the number of that number that you're talking about?
Easily. I mean, if you got back there, we haven't even used a half of that grass parking lot. We can still go way farther back if we needed to. I mean, this isn't. I mean, we'll have a bigger crowd. This isn't like U2 or the Rolling Stones are coming. I mean, you're on a crowd. We're projecting an extra 1,500 to 2,000 people. Which, I mean, it sounds like a lot, but there's a lot of space there. There's a lot of parking that can accommodate all that. And then with the police, I mean, I think we've always worked well with them. We've got things with them. We haven't had any real issues in the last, since I've been involved with the festival.
Maybe you could investigate and recruit people to do like push for the band, like they did push for the path and pay for the insurance. And also maybe check and see how much Steven Tyler and Aerosmith cost. You'd get a big draw.
Two things. Are we considering changing or increasing the vendor fees for the event if we move forward with a larger?
I mean, that's definitely something. All that has to be on the table to look at. I mean, obviously, vendors will want to pay a little bit more just because they would be expecting to sell more things of that nature. I think the biggest thing we get out of this is I think, since the economy took a downturn, we've struggled with sponsorship and still have been able to do a really good job of financially making this profitable. I think this maybe could help start getting sponsorship, getting people more invested in and wanting to be a part of this festival.
And the second part I had was, do we have a different plan for advertising and marketing this to sponsors and to the general public?
Very much so.
Change it.
Yeah, I mean, we would want to, obviously, if you guys said yes to this, we would want to start immediately contacting our promoters and trying to lock somebody in within the the next couple of weeks so that we can immediately start advertising, using radios and things like radio stations more to get the word out to who we have.
Just a concern, when you, if you have to reconfigure the stage area, we can keep in mind there are residents that live right there. So, you know, I don't,
Sure.
for sound control for them.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, and we do that every year. I mean, the speakers they have, they actually, you know, they're, it's kind of amazing how, once you get so far, it actually starts to die off. So we can definitely.
I lived in a community where they did this, and, sorry, and it was, they had to reconfigure, didn't take into consideration, and I would walk a block away from Yorkville, so I'm really mindful that we do have residents there. That they don't, it doesn't mean they're weekend.
No problem.
Anything else? All right, roll call, please.
Spears.
Aye.
Elizabeth.
Aye.
Buckhauser.
Aye.
Hilstrisky.
Aye.
Teeley.
Aye.
Cook.
Aye.
Pat.
Aye.
Muns.
Aye. Okay, no plan commission, no ZBA, no city council report, city clerk's report, no city treasurer's report, and community and liaison reports. Yes, ma'am.
I just have a quick one regarding the Agency on Aging. The agency was thrilled to report that close to $97,000 was raised for holiday meals on wheels. It was the 21st annual Celebrity Chef's Brunch, and it was successful, and for all who sponsored, attended, made a donation, or bought raffle tickets, bid on auction items, they wanted to express a great big thank you for making a big difference in the lives of the at-risk seniors.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
I have a report for the school board. Even though it's 3 hours, I'll make it very quick. They are moving forward with refinancing of their bonds, $18,620,000 worth of bonds. They're going to pay, on December 17th, they have a special school board meeting, which they will be disclosing the rate. They didn't have that at this one. They were held up by Moody not providing them a bond rating at that point. So they're moving forward with that. The one thing that it was a discussion point of it was whether or not they wanted to use a leveling tax rate option for a couple of the series of bonds that they have. As it was stated, the intent was for the taxpayers not to feel, or for the taxpayers to feel the savings while refinancing due to the rate that it would be capped at for that series of bonds. So they went into a pretty lengthy discussion. That is one point that they have to determine is if they want to level it or keep it so that it'll fluctuate. The difference, there is a difference in savings, immediate savings or long-term savings. So that's what they're weighing those options, and they're going to make that decision on the 17th for some of those other points that are out there. Like I said, December 17th, they will have that. That was a big thing, was just going through on the refinance. The other ones, they did move forward with their tax levy. As of right now, the proposed levy is $46 million and change at that point, which they're moving with the 2% balloon levy, as they call that, on top of that, so it's $47 million, which puts it at 6.24%. So they are going to be having a public hearing on the 17th for that, as well as their budget. So they have raised it based on the cap, and they're expecting it to ultimately be with bonded interest with the refinance that they're moving forward. Their rate being 6.75% conservatively. So that's just a real quick update on what they were doing with their budget and their refinancing.
Any idea, Chris, how much in bonds they were refinancing?
The bond refinancing is $18.6 million. They have a full series of bonds that they're.
Was that from building or?
It is from the capital improvement programs generally. That's the bulk of it. So they have series 2006, 2007, 2008, and then there's some others in there that are all coming up over the next few years that they're going to refinance as part of this.
Sir? Jackie, do you have something? No? Anyone else? All right, any additional business? Or, I'm sorry, staff report, no staff report, no staff report. Additional business? I have one item. Our meeting is scheduled for, in December, is scheduled for December 25th, or would have been. We have the 11th and 25th, and moved it to the Wednesday ahead, which is the 19th. Which is only about 8 days after the 11th. You want to cancel that meeting on the 19th? There's no reason we couldn't get by without it.
As long as there's nothing that needs to be approved before the end of the year or anything that's time sensitive.
Yeah, I say go about it. Okay. You guys had time. Good enough for me. Executive session we don't need. Any citizen comments on other than agenda items? Yes, sir. Two sirs over there.
On the way over here, I was struggling. Sorry, Walt Stagner. I live over in Wildwood 2 here in Yorkville. On the way over here, I was kind of struggling, trying to find the right word to use. And the best word I could come up with is being disappointed in our elected officials here in Yorkville. It seems to me that the goal these days of the elected, one of the goals of the elected officials should be to encourage businesses of all sizes to locate here. And when I see a local business that I patronized for several years leave and go to a more business-friendly community like Plano, because no one even bothered to come in and ask her why she was leaving Yorkville, that concerned me greatly. And recently, I learned that 2 new small businesses have located here in Yorkville, and they told me that no public elected official has bothered to welcome them to Yorkville either. So it certainly seems to me that maybe what Yorkville should do is put signs out at the edge of the city saying small business is not welcome here. Because all I read about in the paper is movie theaters, Dairy Queens, and other businesses that are more conducive to what Yorkville has in mind. So I don't know what you guys think about all this, but I am quite disappointed. And if I were, in fact, I encouraged the 2 new small businesses. I said, if I were you, I would reconsider about whether or not you even want to locate in Yorkville. And since we need all the tax money we can get because we're broke, that pained me greatly. And this was precipitated by the fact, as I said, 1 business left, 2 others came, nobody cared. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Joel Frieders. I live in Whispering Meadows in the 3rd Ward. And I've noticed something over the past 6-7 years of living here, is that as I've kind of gotten older and realized that I can't eat the crap that I used to, that I don't spend any money on the groceries here. At Target, I have a very small amount of organic food I can buy. I have twins in diapers, so I spend a hell of a lot on diapers, but I spend very little on food here. Jewel has a little bit better of an organic section on occasion. I've contacted Target to ask for a larger selection. They sent me up to corporate in Minnesota. Spent about 45 minutes on the phone with them saying, hey, I spent a lot of money on diapers, but I don't spend a lot on food. Occasionally on booze, but I haven't been drinking a lot lately. Having said that, all the managers at Target can do nothing about the food that they bring in. Only the big guys can do that. At Jewel, which was funny because I called in on Friday, I got a call back that evening saying, hey, just letting you know, Monday we're going to be doubling our organic section. Doubling meant going from 4 organic cucumbers to 7. And that's funny because I was actually in there buying some meat on Friday and just counted them because I'm conscious of what I put in my body now that I'm getting older, because I would really like to meet my grandkids. Unfortunately, all the businesses that are coming into town don't help me. A Dairy Queen right the hell in front of my kids' daycare. Not very cool. Behind that used to be a really cool indoor baseball place. Now we have Dairy Queen. So what I'm asking you guys to please do is that when we have small businesses that are coming in, and even the bigger ones that are out here, is to make an attempt to at least solicit. And I don't care if you have to do, under the table, anything, whatever, but get me some food that I can eat. Groceries, I go to Field in Oswego, or Geneva, Woodman's, and at Whole Wallet, or Whole Foods as you might know it. I don't buy any groceries in Yorkville. I would like to save money on gas, but I can't buy the food that I need in Yorkville. I can get an ice cream cone or a gyro or a bunch of fries and fried food that I don't need, but it's not possible. I've talked to the owner of Rosati. TJ is very open to trying new things. He actually made me my first pizza in the past 10 weeks. He made me a potato pizza with a gluten-free crust. It was delicious. It was $26 for a 10-inch pizza, but I did it because I was spending money with TJ. I can go over to Blackstone, I can buy a steak, I can take it and cook up coconut oil for me. I looked at it like I was crazy. I am crazy, but I'm okay with that. I just want to eat better food because I'm trying to set an example for my kids. And they walk out of school and go, hey, there's a Dairy Queen opening up right there. I'm not going to argue with them, but I can only live by example. So as me making better dietary choices over the past year and a half, 2 years, has made me stronger and more confident in myself. We want to get kids, out of the rec center and kind of being active, but they're going to keep getting fatter and fatter and fatter if we don't give them good food. So, because I've lost 67 pounds in the past 11 months, please give me better food.
Anyone else? Mr. Johnson?
Mark Johnson, Yorkville, and I guess first I'd like to thank a few of you for acknowledging that I came back. But honestly, I haven't been here. I can't say that I agree with everything this council is doing, but this council has shown a definite change in direction, and I appreciate that. One thing I guess I'd like to ask is, since I haven't been here, is you have the comments on the agenda and then the comments at the end. I was planning on having some of this at the beginning, but it's got to be associated with the agenda now. Is that the rule? Okay. Just point it back, wanted to make sure. Also want to thank you from the Kendall County Property Tax Revolt Group for working the levy reductions that you have. I'm disappointed that you didn't go far enough, but I understand, we weren't planning from the beginning, we weren't planning that anybody was going to really take it serious. And we're starting to get some attention by the county, by the Oswego area people. So it's taking some traction, and you guys are showing some plans for the future, and I like that, and I appreciate that. Better yet, the taxpayers appreciate that. I wanted to also comment about the comments that I heard at the park board meeting about the people not understanding the referendum. They can have their opinion, and that's fine. But I guess I would just counter that and say that on November 6th, there happened to be an election that I didn't agree with, but we have 4 more years. of the current president. I'm not happy about it, but I've got to live with the results. The people voted to say no to the rec center, so please abide by the people's vote. I think it looks like we're going to, but I appreciate your support in doing the right thing and following the people's voice. So thank you again for moving forward. I'm not planning on being here unless I see something way out of whack, but I do appreciate your time and I appreciate the work you guys do. Thanks.
Any other citizen comments? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call.
Aye.